Mental overload is silent. It doesn't hurt in an obvious way. It doesn't bleed. It doesn't scream. But it's there, draining your energy minute by minute. In this video, you'll understand why your mind is full of useless thoughts, how that's destroying your clarity, focus, and even identity, and what Stoicism, cognitive psychology, and practical philosophy say about how to clean up the chaos and return to thinking clearly. This isn't just about too many tasks. It's about too many unexamined thoughts taking up space where there should be presence, reflection, and direction. Waking up already anxious? Opening your eyes and feeling on alert? No lions chasing you, no real threat, but your mind is already speeding, anxious, fragmented. You haven't even gotten out of bed, and you're already thinking about 1,000 things you should do, 1,000 more you should have done, and countless others that may never happen, but you insist on anticipating. The mind doesn't stop, but it doesn't move forward either. It circles, reacts, jumps from thought to thought like a caged animal, and the more it spins, the more exhausted you feel. Cognitive psychology explains this state as the result of automatic thought patterns, where the mind links external stimuli to worries, judgments, and projections without you even realizing it. It's like your brain took the wheel of your life but doesn't know where it's going. This chronic reactivity leads to fatigue. You feel tired, but it's not your body, it's your mind. What drains you isn't action. It's the unfiltered thinking you're not even aware you're doing. Stoic philosophy understood this with incredible clarity. To the Stoics, the mind's main purpose is to distinguish between what is and isn't within our control. Anything that goes beyond that discernment is a distraction, a waste of time, noise. Epictetus said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our judgment about them." Suffering doesn't come from the world, but how we interpret it. And useless thinking is a choice, even if an unconscious one, because a mind without direction gets hijacked by whatever shines. And today, everything shines, everything demands your attention, everything tries to invade your mind. You wake up and check your phone. Before brushing your teeth, you already absorbed images, sounds, opinions, judgments, tragedies, idealized lifestyles, and messages convincing you your life is falling behind. The first thing your mind absorbs isn't a thought of your own, it's a flood of thoughts from others. And we call that a routine. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Imagine what happens to your soul when your thoughts are colored daily by comparison, distraction, and anxiety. Slowly you drift away from yourself. You forget what you think. You forget what you want. You even forget who you are. Because a mind full of useless things has no space left for self-reflection. It only reacts. It dissolves into the noise. Modern psychology calls this passive cognitive overload, when you absorb more stimuli than you can process with quality. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose. You don't hydrate, you drown. A cluttered mind can't think deeply. It just floats on the surface of attention, never diving into anything meaningful. And the longer you stay in this state, the more distant you feel from yourself. You procrastinate, not because you're lazy, but because you're confused. You feel guilty, not because you've done wrong, but because you don't know where to begin. You live tired, but you can't explain why. The cause is invisible. Your mind is filled with thoughts you didn't choose. That's where the Stoic proposal comes in, to cultivate inner silence. Not as an escape from the world, but a return to clarity. The Stoic is not cold or emotionless. They are selective. They choose what to think about. They filter their thoughts like someone guarding the door of their own house. They know the mind is sacred ground. Anything that enters without awareness becomes noise. Philosopher Pierre Hadot said, "Real philosophy begins when we watch our thoughts like someone guarding the entrance to a temple." That's Stoic practice. It's also practical philosophy. And today, it's mental survival. In a world where everyone shouts, lucidity is an act of rebellion. In a world pushing you to react, choosing to think is an act of courage. It's not about eliminating every negative thought. That's impossible. It's about recognizing which thoughts deserve your energy and which exist only to steal your attention. This takes training. It requires a new mental posture. Instead of starting your day diving into the noise of the world, you begin by returning to yourself. Instead of opening your phone, you open your mind with a question. What do I want to think about today? What thought do I choose to carry? What is within my control right now? Just asking that changes everything. And the most curious thing is the more you practice this discernment, the lighter life becomes. You begin to see that many of your anxieties came from thoughts that weren't even yours. Desires planted through comparison, urgencies imposed by people who don't live your life, fears inherited from stories that aren't your own. When you filter your thoughts, you begin to live. Because living isn't just breathing, it's choosing what fills your inner world. Stoicism reminds us that freedom begins in the mind. Not when you can do everything, but when you no longer need to. Not when you react to everything, but when you choose what to focus on. A free mind is quiet, not because it lacks thought, but because it lacks noise. A free mind is focused, not because it ignores the world, but because it is present to what truly matters. A free mind is light, not because it doesn't feel, but because it doesn't carry what doesn't belong to it. And you can begin cultivating that freedom now. Breathe, watch your thoughts, identify what no longer serves, and little by little, clear the sacred space of your mind. Because if there's one thing no one can take from you, it's the power to choose what to think. That is your final frontier of freedom. Protect it like you protect your soul. If this message made you reflect, subscribe to the channel. Here we don't offer distractions, we offer lucidity. And in a world drowning in noise, maybe that's exactly what's been missing.